great opportunity. With Grammarly Go, you can do it all.
All right. So, honestly, I had not had a particular spread in mind, but as I did it, it said, all right, we're going to do this. Kind of like the toolkit. What is the shit called? Something about a toolkit tarot. Something. Spread. There were 3 levels, 9 cards. Out 9 places. But rather than doing that, it also came that this is going to be mind, body, and soul.
So what can you do with Grammarly Go at your fingertips? Nice. You can find your flow and every word you're looking for.
Your mind, body, and soul. Sorry, I want my music to be on and right though.
You can get it exactly right, no matter what it is.
Oh, or maybe I shouldn't have music in case I put this on YouTube. Copyright. Anyway. So, yeah. Mind, body, soul. And I'm gonna take this. I feel like that doesn't make it right as I see it in my head. And so it would be this way that we move into the levels of difficulty almost. So, and I won't say not top priority, but something to pay attention to. Mind placement is the 10 of Pentacles. And that just makes me think like, okay, all right, so boom. I guess I'm reluctant to go into it and feel like it is the mind needing to find awareness in that. Maybe that, like I said, not being that it's the topmost thing. You know what I'm saying? But, which funny enough, okay, because I should get through reading this before I get there. However, it's funny that these 2 cards are kind of like, I'm going to think of the word later, but they across from each other almost in the perfect place. One begins and one ends. And that's like the least, and this is the most, from the mind to the soul. Anyway, so involving the mind, having that thing of abundance, of course, like family, you know what I'm saying, legacy, it feels just very Saturnian, and what we build in the world, what we want and our desires are for, as a reflection of our ancestors and an impact on our descendants. You know, so keeping our mind on that not being the most important thing to keep our mind on, but something that we should be paying attention to, and being mindful of. The second thing, 5, 6, 7 of Wands. And you know, that's kind of like fighting off that outside influence. It makes me think of, because at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying, it's not like, I know it's going to be in the same suit because it's the same card or whatever, but she is the person, she is not defending herself against other things. It's people with the same weapons, and so there could be some conflict where it feels like it's all tied in, but it's not, because it's different people. And so where you have conflict, it's not where someone else may have conflict. Of course, we know this kind of, but sometimes our worldview can just be us and like little kids, like they standing on a little world, a little globe within that picture. You know what I'm saying? So, and that's like a whole word to myself. Me allowing a person's words or things to make me feel defensive. Meanwhile, they're only speaking from their point of view, and so they don't have access to my timeline or my point of view for that matter. Or vice versa, but y'all know what I'm saying. You know what I mean? Anyway, so yeah, that is like the second priority of the mind at the time. Third priority of the mind, boo boo, hold up. But I know, right? But hold up. It's reversed. So it's Ten of Swords reverse. It somewhat feels like a flow from the Seven of Wands, in regards to, and this is me putting a positive spin on, I ain't even gonna cap, like, in regards to understanding others, understanding that other people are not on your timeline, not even trying to understand other people's timeline, because who has the time for that all the time? But anyway, understanding where you are on your timeline and that others may not be there. So having defeated that, but it's not like the conflict ends. And LOL, that's the high note. But I guess the downside of that being, almost feeling those piercing words, a conversation that we've been having is changing our words, changing the programming, essentially, because that's what it is doing. We don't want to be killing ourselves, you know what I'm saying, emotionally or analytically, grammatically, anyway, honestly, but in the way in which we may slander our ourselves, and just trying to understand it's not that we coming from, like, I guess that's where I'm coming with this, because it's just like, they not laid out, just, you know what I'm saying, like, they up there, they above the shit, but at the same time it's piercing. And so it's just like, as we grow to have an understanding, sometimes we come across things that may end up being detrimental. And so now we working to undo that shit, you know what I'm saying? Having to take them swords out one by one. I'm looking because, I want to nightcap it or whatever and be like, in the end, it's like, this nigga not hurt. He playing dead. And it's just like, at the end of the day, like, shake it off. Oh, I was going to say Taylor Swift, LOL. The moon reversed. This is in our body portion. This is the first priority of the body, which, like I said, this is kind of going from love, least, somewhat, most important. However, this moon reversed in the body portion does make me consider or think about, well, for one, it makes me think about I think about Cancer with the moon. Then of course Scorpio have being there, I want to say honestly with the dogs in, but with the scorpion or lobster, fish, whatever thing it is, LOL. Anyway, just paying attention, you know what I'm saying, to our parts and things like that, but also speaking life into those parts, into our lady bits, our breasts and our vagina. I think about a song by, what's her name? Lizzie Jeff, I think. She has like excuse me. I'm gonna call it a titty meditation because I can't think of what else to call it. But you know what I'm saying? It's a titty anthem, and I think that it calls for that type of thing. I'm thinking of like a trance state or space within the body, but like in admiration of it. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes we need those moments to glare at ourselves, and appreciate the vessel that we've been given, but also take note, of what we're seeing. And hello, I'm preaching to the choir that I sang in from time to time. And so, yes, all of that. Our second priority in the body place or body row is the Three of Wands. Say word now? No. LOL. Honestly, I'm wondering if it's more of like this expectation of our bodies, you know what I'm saying? Because at first it was just like, well, what we sent out that we looking to get a return on. But the expectation of our bodies, or the expectation of, just at the end of the day, I would say like the process of what we're putting into it and what we think we're gonna get out of it. And so, you know what I'm saying, we sitting there looking for certain things perhaps, and it's just like, consistency, discipline, all that. But it does grant a lot of space for the ability to discipline and take accountability and, do the things, put into practice, the things, put into practice, the practices, whatever. Put into practice the activities, the habits, the things that will ensure us a return that we want to see. The last thing we have in the in the body space is the Hierophant reverse. LOL, that's kind of funny to me. I ain't gonna lie. I almost feel like I don't know how to take that, like in the body space reverse, but I guess it calls. And again, and that's kind of like how this whole row, I think, is, explaining itself, in the sense that, we have the moon reverse, this appreciation of the body, this appreciation of what, and I guess, excuse me, if I am placing a gender role on people's bodies or people, but exploring those feminine parts of ourselves, the physical feminine attributes that we have. Hell, some men with titties don't play and hips, but also the exploration of that, you know what I'm saying, the celebration of it. But then, it's like, are we able to celebrate when we're putting these expectations and then maybe not seeing returns? But knowing that if we give certain things, or we invite certain things in, take up certain habits, that we'll see the return that we want. That's not a problem here nor there. And then moving into that Hierophant, and coming to terms with, I'll say society, expectations outside of ourselves, external expectations that put a limit on, or which we, LOL, because we just spoke about this. But yeah, like, not in the sense that we really was talking about it, but I mean in the sense that we talking about it, you know, a woman to just praise her own body is like, you know, an issue, whereas, you know, you want men to praise it. And it was funny because you did bring up that thing of, you know, is damn near a sin, or, you know, people will have an attitude. Some women will have a issue after having or being with a man who may have dealt with males within his sexual past and relationship history. However, it is like gloated on and, you know, almost sometimes desired when it comes to women in relationships with men who are bi or identify as bisexual. And so, yeah, you know, just thinking about the traditional things or roles or ways in which we display or use our bodies, and how we can, I guess, kind of like recapture that essence and like take power back into our own hands, you know what I'm saying? And just find love within it and support, you know what I'm saying? Learning to support our bodies more. Not even learning to support, you know, we've done a lot of the learning. It's now the application of, or the application of again. Moving into the spiritual first priority. Spirit first priority. It's the food, y'all. LOL at the food. But I felt that was cool, you know what I'm saying? It felt like it definitely feels like new beginnings, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh, excuse me. Excuse me again. It feels like a new cycle. Because it is like, ain't nobody no food around here no more. None of this time. Everybody plays the fool, but no more. You know what I'm saying? And that's how that feels. Like, I was like, even too much else to say about that. Very much so a new beginning. Just a clean slate. Of course, you're gonna be like wonder and all of those good things, right? LOL. But yeah, the food. On to a new journey, because at the end of the day, like, it's time to level up. In my Sierra voice. The King of Wands is next in our spirit row in the second column of priorities. And excuse me. Yeah. The King of Wands in the spirit position, our second row, second column, excuse me. The King of Wands there. The King of Wands know what he want. He gonna go get it, ain't it? So I feel like, you know what I'm saying, at the end of the day, we can maybe keep playing these games, but we are at a new beginning, and you know what you want, you better go get it. And, you know, one, he has, like, you know what I'm saying, the lion, and like that strength and power and, you know, things like that. But I always like look at that lizard that's with him and think about transformation. And within this right now, it makes me think of there's nothing wrong with changing, in the sense of understanding that sometimes we must undertake I kind of want to say like a character role, LOL, because that makes me think of this whole NPC, these NPC challenges that I'm seeing, and it's just like, you know, I guess people give like other people things to do, like they'll drop like an emoji and that person's supposed to like respond as that emoji or within that way, which weird, but whatever. But at the same time, in the way of like role playing, like maybe it's time to healthily role play, and like maybe that's with the masculine energy as opposed to with our feminine energy. We do a lot of work with the goddess and concentration on the goddess in the last few years, and honestly, that's one of the conversations we have, or I just say like at the brink of conversation at least, or in general, or I don't know if brink is anyway. It's interwoven, just as far as our role as women with men, or as simple as that, as complex as it can get as well. But it makes me think of the conversation we have as far as like the work that we can do as far as being supportive in our roles as women and supporting our men, but not mothering them, but being women about what we're doing. And so that makes me consider perhaps it is time to work with the God aspect as opposed to the goddess, in order to, because I don't want to say it like how I heard it, like hear my cry and hear my plea. It's not like that, but it's just like, when we are in communion or communication with other beings and bodies, we have the ability to make raise a concern with them. The last card is the Six of Pentacles, and that is the last card in our spirit row, third column, and this is where this is like the highest on that list, and so, which actually it was feeling more like, okay, task, priorities, and then results, kind of, so mind, body, spirit, task, priorities, results, right? Okay. And so with the Six of Pentacles there, it gets that air and that it gives that air of reciprocity. Actually, it's reversed though. The reason why because it feels reverse, I ain't gonna lie, it feels kind of like a block. And maybe it's because we need to get to our task priorities, you know what I'm saying? Get a good leg up on like the new spiritual journey, getting good with that, transforming and switching, role playing of energies. And be like, okay, so to go back into that male aspect or that God aspect, like Mars, you know what I'm saying? So going about that role playing because of, I don't know, saying because of Mars is right or makes sense, but it's about action, you know what I'm saying? And so allowing action to happen through using, role play. Because maybe today I'm not Kariba and I'm that person that's going to get up in the morning. So literally today, which I'm Kariba, yes I am, but today Kariba is that person that gets up to go garden at 8 o'clock in the morning, because I want to see Kariba be able to provide her family with food that she has grown from her hands and from the earth, with the help of earth, or that the earth is grown with the help of Kariba. And so, in that sense of role play, and that's what I'm meaning by transforming, but also because we are talking about being on that spiritual side. And at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying, the mind is definitely the high magic that we seek. But also, you know what I'm saying, having fellowship with the God as well, because he is a part of the picture. And then moving in, okay, into the Six of Pentacles. Oh, and that's what I was saying. Like, you know, what I don't like about it is, like, it kind of feels like, you know what I'm saying? I don't want to say, like, a blocking of blessings, but just, like, it feels more of, like, a reserve. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's going to rain down on your head, Chicken Little, as Lulu would say, perhaps. But, you know, it feels like hesitation there. Like, the scales aren't balanced, and I don't know. I mean, maybe the spread and the work being done after the spread, how the spread unfolds, rather. You know what I'm saying? Because the work is happening. But you know, maybe perhaps the scale hasn't tipped in our favor just yet. You know, but it's like our time is coming. And I know, generally with this card, this is general message with the card. I feel like it's supposed to give, you know, person balancing out the scales and seeing what's just and what's not, that judgment type thing. And of course the scales make you think of my eye, and you know what I'm saying, it's your heart as light as a feather type, you know what I mean? And perhaps at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying, that's what it is. Like, and you know, what I'll be honest in saying, because you know, at the end of the day, like, the journey is what we make it. The journey is what we make it. At the same time, you know what I'm saying, we got ancient text that's supposed to be written, you know what I'm saying, like, but at the same time, like, it is what we make it. And so it's a part of balancing that scale, being able to admit and come to terms with the fact that it's not always balanced. We aren't always that, and that's okay. But we are still deserving of what we, it feels like are rewarded, but we are still deserving of what we have and desire and need and want. And should have had, could have had, would have had. You know what I'm saying? It's just, shit just may not have worked out like that in order to help to balance the scales and get you into that position. What you should have had, would have had, could have had. Because the story's not done yet, you know. Anyway, this one I fell out. It goes. Renewal. Cleansing. I don't know. It was like really past. It feels like life. So what feels good? You know what I'm saying? Although labor is, it hurts. I got an epidural. I did. So labor pains, but the birth is worth it. You know, it's worth the birth. But labor pains, child. We want water free flowing, child. We is tired of things being held up, and you know, or a leaky faucet here, a leaky faucet there, drip drop, like clogged pipe here, you know. And that comes with the clearance of, you know, what we've got to deal with. It feels like I should just kind of recap and put it all together. But I don't know if I can do that. LOL. I think that did it. It's 30 minutes. I'm tired. Good night. I love you.